Hello there. QPR head to Portman Road tomorrow night, so let's chat about what to expect from Ipswich Town this time around. It's been a pretty remarkable season for Ipswich. After last season's promotion from League One alongside league winners Plymouth Argyle, there was a lot of buzz around the club and of course Kieran McKenna. Many journalists and people touted them to do the double promotion, something I must admit I was pretty doubtful about, to be honest. But now, over halfway into the campaign, Ipswich remains second in the league, with a 5-point cushion over third place. In fact, they've lost just 3 of their 24 championship matches this season so far. They win the first 16 matches of the season with just 1 loss to their name. Even Leicester City, who had the best ever start to a championship season, had 3 losses by that stage. I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise really. Since Kieran McKenna took charge of the club in December 2021, no club in the top 4 tiers of English football have won more points. In fact, only Pep Guardiola himself has won more league games. But of course, often stepping up a division, particularly from League One to the Championship, can be a big ask. You only have to look at a team like Sheffield Wednesday, for example, to see a good example of that. Ipswich have not only defied expectations of a promoted League One side, they're also going head to head with what is essentially a Premier League side in the Championship. Now, Ipswich were scoring for fun in League One last season. They scored 101 goals and had comfortably the best goal difference in the division. And staggeringly, this season they once again have the joint highest goals scored alongside Leicester City. That attack-minded mentality from last season has not been sacrificed, and having kept hold of last season's top scorer Connor Chaplin, Nathan Broadhead and bringing George Hurst back from Leicester City on a permanent, their 3 young forwards have produced the goods again with 24 goals between them so far. Just look at that contrast with QPR. 3 young centre forwards that all score goals that they haven't had to break the bank for. Their home record in particular, unfortunately for QPR, has been especially impressive. Until the 1-1 draw with Leicester this week, they have scored at least 2 in every home game this season, with often 3s and 4s. And they've lost just 1 game at Portman Road this season, a 4-3 loss to Leeds United. The goals seemingly flow freely at home, and even when they go behind, they are a good bet to come back into the game. Now, interestingly, Ipswich are currently in what I would say dramatically is their worst form of the season so far, with 2 draws and a loss. What I would do for that to be our worst form of the season. This has come, of course, on the back of 4 consecutive wins. First, they drew to Norwich City at home, a game they initially led before a double from Jonathan Rowe took the Canaries 2-1 up, but Wes Burns reclaimed a point for his side on the 60th minute. A win in that game at the time would have sent them top of the league, but they couldn't beat their old enemy with their last victory against them coming in 2009. The 4-0 loss away at Leeds United on the 23rd came as more of a shock, with the home team racing to a 3-0 lead before half-time, before Joel Pirro completely saw the game off in the 52nd minute. This seemed quite the statement from Leeds, who sat a place behind Ipswich at the time, until Leeds suffered a 2-1 loss away at Preston just 3 days later. McKenna, suffering only his 3rd loss of the season, described it as a day that just didn't go their way. That takes us to Tuesday night's draw with Leicester City, a game which the Foxes led from the 24th minute, until Ipswich Town skipper Sam Morsey's hopeful shot outside the box took 2 heavy deflections to earn them a point in the 93rd minute. The Tractor Boys would be pleased with a point after a pretty tough game, but they did have more than enough efforts to warrant a point. So after those 3 games without a win, has the Ipswich bubble burst? No, not really. They've had tough opponents in the past 3 games, one being a derby game of course, and the other 2 against relegated Premier League sides looking to go back up at the first time of asking. With these games out of the way, they now face the perfect opponent to get back to winning ways. Queen's Park Rangers, winless in 4 and starting to return to the poor performances that we saw before Marty Cifuentes arrives. In case you can't tell, I am really anticipating a big win for Ipswich here. They have lost striker George Hurst after he went down with a hamstring injury against his former side Leicester on Tuesday night, but we know they go big at home, and after this run of tough fixtures they're going to be looking to get back on track. At Loftus Road this season, Ipswich of course won 1-0, a pretty tightly contested match which Rangers could have felt sorry for themselves for not picking up any points in, but on home turf this is going to be a very different story. QPR have not only stopped scoring, but they've also started to make poor defensive mistakes again. Pair that with Ipswich's ferocious home form, I fear this is going to be a recipe for QPR's disaster. The score lines against the current top 6 have been fairly respectful this season, but we have lost every game against those sides, including Southampton twice. Pair that with a Sky Sports showing on Friday night, and I'm predicting a 2, probably 3-0 home win for Ipswich Town. You would say that it would be very QPR to go to Portman Road and pick up a result, but based on recent performances, I really can't see this myself. Do let me know your predictions down in the comments as usual. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, then please do, and I will catch you next time. hopefully with a shock 3 points. Come on, you Rs.